it's really the most living in the present that you can get, you know, because that's what life is really all about. We have this gift and it's right now in the present. And that's the way it is for me painting wild horses. Okay, I'm Karen McClain and I am 51 years old and I'm a full-time professional artist. Well, I've been painting pretty much all my life, off and on. I got to a certain point, I looked in the mirror and I says, I'm not getting any younger. And it's starting to sprout some gray hair here and there. And I said, if I'm ever going to do this, it's now or never. And that was in the late 90s, and I've been going painting since then, and I've not looked back. In 2009, went to Wyoming to take a workshop from Jim Norton. He's one of the cowboy artists of America. And on the way back from that trip, I stopped in Utah, just south of Salt Lake City, and visited the Anonquay herd, which is one of the BLM herds. And I went out there, and there was like, in this huge, massive open range, probably about 200 horses out there. And I clicked away and I spent the day out there just watching them, walking with them, and I was just so profoundly touched by these guys. I went home and started painting. And I painted, and I painted, and I painted. I found out that about 200 of them, about the number that I saw, were rounded up. And when I was out there, I thought, wow, this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. And little did I know that in one way it really was a once-in-a-lifetime chance. And so since that time, I've sought out wild horse herds, and I made it a goal to really watch these guys and to really look at them and to see how they interact with each other and to paint them and paint them from life. Talk about, you know, a little tightness in the throat there. I was painting in the Sound Wash Basin in Colorado, and there's a particular horse there called Picasso. And this horse is he's probably about 24 years old, and he has been out there living wild his whole life, and he's actually quite a profoundly popular paint. I was out there for like 3 days, and there was a couple horses that I wanted to paint, and he was one of them. On the last day that I was there, we were driving along, and there he was. And so I got out and went up, and I was able to sit down and start painting him. And to paint that horse, I don't know, there's something about the symbolism there, the profound presence that he has that was really quite touching to me. The most interesting thing to me is about how they interact with each other. The second thing is to really be able to see the colors that are in nature. With a wild horse, it's like living on the edge, it's like right now. And that's the way they live, and that's what I want to get. My kit includes, I carry a small 8x10 box that I made, and with that I have a series of warm colors and cool colors, and I pre-mix some tints in that to be able to, so that when I come out here, I don't spend my time squeezing paint out onto my palette. I have 7 to 8 brushes that I carry, some turpentine, and some napkins, and I have a little trash thing that I carry, and up to 100 ounces of water, and that's it. Two stools, one to sit on, one to put my little palette on. I'm ready to go. One of the things that I really want to be able to show is I want to show the beauty of them, the freedom of them, and some relationships with them. And I feel like I'm going to keep painting these horses until I don't need to paint them anymore, until I feel like I've said everything I need to say about them. And I want to be able to bring beauty to places that people that have never seen a wild horse, never had the experience of coming out on the range. And they may never have the opportunity or the ability to get out on the range and see them, but for them to be able to find out what's happening with them and to have a level of investment in them that's, I don't know, that they don't have right now, I would say. Well, I would like for them to get out and see the horses. If they can't get out and see the horses, to learn about them online. And I'd like them to buy a painting. I'd like some collectors. And the thing is that I do paint more than horses, but the wild horses are what really inspires me. So between a commission or between doing other things, I'll come back and I'm just anchored in painting wild horses.